We've kind of already gone into the subject of Arsenal, and we're going to do a combined 11 a little bit later. How do you see this going, Mike? It's a big game. We're not doing the narrative on the football terrace that Liverpool haven't been tested.
Of course.
1/3 of your games this season, you've been tested. Leipzig, Milan, United, Chelsea. How do you see this going, considering Arsenal's form and injury problems, but it is a top 6, title challenging clash? How do you see it going for Liverpool? How do you win the game?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, my expectation based on where Arsenal is right now, form and injuries, especially if Saka's not there. If Saka's there, I'll change my opinion. But if Saka isn't there, this is a must-win game. It's like there's nothing else. I don't want 1 point. I don't want to draw. It has to be a win. You have to take 3 points off Arsenal. The problem that I had with Liverpool last year was that out of, I think, 30, it was either 36 or 38 possible points, we only had 16 against the top 6, which I don't think is good enough. And the only teams that we beat were the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea and Aston Villa. I don't think we didn't beat United in the league, we didn't beat City in the league, and we didn't beat Arsenal in the league. That was a major problem for me last year. Going into this game,
did you mention Man United?
Man United didn't finish in the top 6, did they? Or did they finish 6th?
No, we didn't. Sorry, Mike. But
Well,
yeah, he didn't beat.
but-
I just
but
want to
we
throw
also-
it in there. He didn't beat us either. Sorry, I'm being shameless. I'm being shameless.
Okay, you know what? I was thinking it, but I might not have said it. Sorry.
Sorry, Mike. I think I say sorry.
Regardless, this has to be a win going into this game. I think that Liverpool's form is spectacular, especially defensively. I think Arsenal creatively have been especially poor without Odegaard. And now without Saka, all of a sudden, there is no central creating outlet in that team. I don't really rate Martinelli too highly. I definitely don't rate Jesus. And Kai Havertz just hasn't been the same Kai Havertz that he was last season. I've never been one to consistently put him down, but I don't think that the cohesiveness of the attacking structure of Arsenal is there so far this season without those key players. And if you're going to be Liverpool, and if you want to win this league, or at least have a chance to win this league, you have to go into the Lion's den when the Lion is wounded and beat him. You know what I mean? Like, people don't want to talk with confidence about Liverpool yet. I get it. We're only 12 total games, 13 total games, 8 Premier League games into this season. But what I've seen from us so far, 3 goals conceded, one of those being an own goal. So in reality, you've really only conceded 2 goals from the opposition. You've scored, 15 or 16 goals. You've looked confident throughout the whole season so far. We haven't picked up a single major injury. We should have our first, full strength 11 in there, which means that all of our best players will be there and Arsenal's best players won't be there. You have to win this game. In terms of tactically, I think Arteta's going to set up defensively. I think that Arne Slot's going to go in there trying to hold possession of the ball. How is it going to turn out? I don't know. Where I see the biggest fear is set pieces, because our defense on the set piece is so terrible and Arsenal's offense on set pieces is so good. But I don't know. Open play wise, I'm not too worried. To me, it's just going to be a matter of, is McAllister fully fit? Is Salah going to show up? Are we going to rise to the occasion? But I don't know. I mean, like you said, these games are very iffy based on form, because that all kind of gets thrown out the window. We've seen it in the past. But this has to be a must-win for me.
Wait, but I have a question for you, because you said if Saka is not there, then it's a must-win. Shouldn't it be a must-win regardless? Because you have positioned yourself nice in so far this part of the season. So I feel like whether Saka is there or not, that's irrelevant. Because I think that you guys are in a title race, like whether you want to put that pressure on yourselves or not. I feel like you've had a very good opening start to the season, and regardless, this is a huge matchup, and this is going to be a big game in the title race. So I think this has to be a must-win, regardless of if Saka is there or not.
Well, so the reason why I say Saka is because even without Saliba, I still respect Arsenal's defense. Like, I don't think that losing Saliba all of a sudden means that Arsenal are just going to concede chance after chance after chance after chance. Not to mention that even though Liverpool have dominated the ball, we haven't exactly been the greatest creating team out there. A lot of the times we hold possession for the sake of slowing the game down and frustrating the team, right? Like when you look at the way that Arne Slot starts games, people say that it's slow. I disagree. I think that Arne Slot is intentionally slowing everything down the first 15 to 20 minutes of every game to take the adrenaline out of the other team, right? The more you hold the ball, the less you give it to them at the start of a game, the more they become tired and the more they sort of reset into their, general patterns of defense. And then you start to break them down, right? With Saka, he's without a doubt their most creative player that could potentially be on the pitch. He's an X factor, in my opinion, especially on set piece delivery, right? Saka's the kind of guy on a set piece or a corner who can change the game with a goal, with a delivery. So is Tsimikas on Liverpool. He's our best set piece delivery person outside of Trent Alexander-Arnold when it comes to corners. So when I say Saka, I mean, without him, I don't see a single creative outlet in this team. And the only way I see Arsenal scoring without Saka is either via a set piece or a Liverpool mistake. I don't see them just breaking us down without that player, especially without Odegaard there. So if you take out Odegaard, Saliba, and Saka, that's 3 pieces of your core that you have to take advantage of. Like, I respect Arsenal as a team, even without those players, because their defense is so good. But without those players, it doesn't matter how good their defense is. You need to capitalize. It's that simple. Like, we have the talent to do it. Not to mention, I know, Terry, you were talking about how good our squad has looked. Where I would push back on that is that you haven't really seen a lot of the squad. I mean, ultimately, only like 13, 14 players have even really played this season in terms of consistent action at most. We haven't seen a ton of Curtis Jones, even though he was spectacular against Chelsea. We've seen pretty much none of Joe Gomez. We've seen some of Tsimikas, but for the most part, it's been the same starting lineup week in, week out, barring maybe Cody Gakpo switching on the left, and now Diogo Jota has picked up a knock, so it's going to unfortunately be Darwin Núñez up front. But we've seen the same first team essentially week over week over week. With that first team, based on what they've done, you have to capitalize if you're missing those 3 players. That's the only reason why I say Saka, because if he's not there, Raheem Sterling is supposed to be the guy who's gonna create off the right side. Gabriel Jesus, who just missed 4 sitters against Shakhtar.
But it sounds like you're just telling us reasons why you should win if Saka is not there. What I'm asking you is, how come you said it's a must win if Saka is not there? Like, I feel like
because
it's a
because you're missing the biggest key. No, because you're missing the biggest key, right?
So if Saka's there, you're okay if you drop points.
Saka's gonna play. Just to let you know, he's gonna play.
So then
this is Arteta just playing a little bit of the mind games in the media, covering him up. There's a reason why the only picture that's been shown on Twitter is the one that's directly covering up Timber. This is all mind games, and they will shit house their way to a win. Arsenal will shit house. Arsenal will win this game.
You think Arsenal will win?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal will score.
I think Saka plays. They've got this thing in their kind of team at the moment where random players pop up with goals, and we saw that at the Etihad with Calafiori. And I think you'll see a similar performance where Liverpool, Arne Slot is obsessed with control, and I think what you said about the first 15 minutes makes a lot of sense. He will go into this game. I don't know what the midfield 3 will be. Whether it's, I don't think Szoboszlai should play this game personally. I think he should. He will, but I don't think he should. And I think he should. You'll go up against Declan Rice, Marino, and Partey. That will be the midfield 3, and they will be happy for Liverpool to have 65% possession. But when it comes to set pieces, that's where they'll get their goal, and it will be someone like Gabriel, and they'll come out with a 1-0 win. That's what they're going to do. Liverpool can. It sounds weird because Liverpool can afford not to win this game, come out of a draw, and they'd be still relatively happy with that. But if Arsenal come out of a defeat, it's 7 points. 7 points at this stage in the season. I know we're only 9 games in, but still, and the City have got a favourable fixture against Southampton. But I think they'll galvanise. Havertz has got a great record at the Emirates this year. He's already got 7 goals. I think they'll shithouse their way through it.
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool get a result.
So basically, you're saying that Arsenal against Liverpool are going to line up how they did against Bournemouth, just throw Saka back on the right. Because what kind of injury
Timber will play? And I think Martinelli, the way that Liverpool are going to set up Arsenal on the counter, they have to put Martinelli out on that left-hand side. If they go with Trossard, yeah, it's a wrap.
What kind of injury did Saka suffer that kept him out?
Sorry?
So what kind of injury did Saka have? Hamstring.
I believe so.
So, I mean, like, that's pretty significant. Like, do you think that he starts? Like, because so just right now.
Have to. Bubble, but they'll bubble wrap him, go out there, wrap him up in cotton wool, whatever the American terminology is, wrap him up in, I don't know, some level of bulletproof paper, and he will go out there. I think that Arsenal can't afford anything but 3 points. And I think the way they're going to do it, it will be a similar performance they played against us. Liverpool have all the ball, and Arsenal will shithouse their way through it.
But the thing is,
I think it'll be a carbon copy of this. Liverpool, go on.
I was going to say, if this was last season, I would understand the idea of the counterattack play. But the issue with this season, I mean, first of all, our away form, we've won every single game. We haven't dropped a single point anywhere away from home so far this season. Second, the way that the team sets up, even when we dominate possession, it's not like last season. If we lose the ball, I don't remember the last time we gave up an odd man rush. We've given up counterattacks, but every time we give up a counter, we're even with the opposition. It's not 3-on-2, it's 3-on-3. It's not 2-on-1, it's 2-on-2, right? It's not 4-on-3, it's 4-on-4. If Arsenal can somehow manage to become the first team to get odd man rushes against this Liverpool defense this season, then sure, I would agree with you. I would begin to get worried. But because of how solid we have been against the counterattack, I don't think that is the smart way to approach this game. And if you're going to start 3 DMs, you're essentially telling me, hey, Gravenberch, McAllister, you guys can hold the ball at the halfway line as much as you want. Beat us with the ball over the top. All good. Which, if you're Arsenal at home, that's a dangerous way to play against a team that doesn't concede counters.
The only other thing they can do is throw Wanyeri in the 10, which I think is a huge game to expect.
It's a massive gamble.
17, 18-year-old, or put Trossard on the 10.
So then why is he in the squad then? Why is he there? Like,
I agree. I agree.
Just throw him out there. Like, what do you?
I don't see it as a gamble. Actually, I feel like we can all see how talented he is, right? He can't do any worse than Marino or anyone else who's been in the 10 since in the last couple of games. But I actually think these young players don't feel the fear like slightly older players at times, especially the talented ones. I think we all saw Mainoo's first few games. Saka is a prime example. When that young man was thrown into this Arsenal team, when they didn't have the structure and quality they had now, he started performing very, very well. You've seen young Jude Bellingham go to Dortmund and then go to Real Madrid and grab it by the scruff of the neck. We've seen this before with these highly talented youngsters. But Giuseppe, how do you see this going? Do you agree with Henry that Arsenal will shock Liverpool this weekend and grab a victory? How are you feeling about it?
I have a feeling it might happen, to be honest. I have a feeling because do you know what it was? Do you know what it is? Like, I know what everyone's saying. Liverpool have been great this season. They really have. Arsenal right now, people saying, the form and everything. But same thing was said before the Spurs game. We went away from home. We won the game. Same thing was said against Man City away from home. We went there. We almost won the game. Last kick of the game, they get a nice deflection go their way. They equal and they draw. We haven't lost a Big Six game in 500 and something days since the last time we lost a Big Six game. And I kind of think sometimes in a way when you have quite a few injuries, it's actually kind of a bit worse for the big teams in big games, because sometimes I feel like when you've got a few injuries, not too many, so I'm going to get more onto it in a second. I think sometimes it makes everyone step up their game a bit and it gets rid of a lot of lapsy days. It makes everyone try that bit harder. And sometimes that's enough to get you over the line, especially at home. If it's at Anfield, it's a different story. Now, I agree. If Saka's out, Timber's out, and all that, and they're all out, it's going to be difficult. And to be honest, Liverpool have to win that game, because you're never facing a team like that you're battling with the league for with that many injuries again at their ground. I'm sorry, the injuries and suspensions, Saliba being gone, Timber being out, Calafiori being out, Tomiyasu being out, Odegaard being out, Saka being out. You're talking about
Calafiori might be out too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about a lot of good players out. yeah, that is the time you have to win. And I've generally said if Arsenal beat Liverpool, yeah, I actually don't think Liverpool will win the league. I think that tells me they won't win the league. And I know a lot of people saying, "What? It's one game." It's not about that. It's about that. It's just about how much they have to go and win it. I think if they don't win this game or draw, at least if they lose to us, if all these players are out, by the way, if we've got, I agree with what you said, Mike, about Saka being a difference maker. If Saka's in the team, it changes that. But if we've got no Saka and all these players and you lose, I think it's really bad for you guys, to be honest. I think we'll win the game. I generally do. Like, I can see it being a draw. I'm not going to lie. I could see that happening, being like a 1-1 draw. But I think we'll win the game.
If I offered you a 1-1 draw right now, would you take it?
I don't know. It will all depend on if Saka and stuff are fit. I'll be honest. If
Saka's fit, would you take it?
If Saka and Timber are fit,
both of them fit.
No. I think with them two fit. I think with them two fit,
bro.
I think Timber being fit for me is huge because I think Timber being fit makes our defensive issue not as big because I think Timber can do a job. You can either put him in the centre back instead of Saliba, or you can play him in the left back, vice versa. By the way, there is this sneaky thing in my head that thinks even Calafiori is going to play, and all three of them, and it is an Arteta mind game, and all three of them are going to play. But I think he's huge. And Saka, once again, echo everything Mike just said. The set pieces, yeah, with Saka on the pitch is completely different. It's a game changer. Everything like people will disrespect Saka, but then now we ain't got him, everyone will be like, "Oh, Saka's really important if he plays for Arsenal or not," like, because he just gets disrespected. He is an X factor in the team. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. So for me, I think we've got enough to beat them, being at our ground, and it's a must win. And I'll be honest, yeah, this reminds me a lot. Maybe not with the injuries, but this reminds me a lot of last season. We had Liverpool, and there was a lot of talk that if Arsenal don't win this game against Liverpool, they're out of the title race, they're out of the league. Liverpool running away, and we went and we beat them.